Hello and welcome to Bristol Sport TV from Ashton Gate's Sports Bar. In the next 10 minutes or so, we'll bring you up to speed on all of your favourite Bristol sporting teams. Well, this week saw the start of the Women's Super League 2 season. And I'm pleased to say that my guest this week is City player Corinne Yorston, one of the longest serving players within the team, apart from a blip last year where she went to play for Yeovil. And what a great start it was, Corinne, to get off with a win against your old team.
Yeah, it was great. You know, it was personally for me, being there last year, it was great to get 3 points and a win against Yeovil Town. But the most important thing for us was just to get the season started. You know, we had a long pre-season and everyone was just really excited to get the season underway. So it was great to start off with a win last night.
Yeah, well, you were 3-0 up by half time, but they did come back into it. So it was a bit jittery towards the end.
Yeah, you know, we were 3-0 up at half time and played really well in the first half. And, you know, we're going into the second half really confident. We started the second half really bright and then we just managed to let them get back into it. You know, we gave away a bit of a soft penalty and then another scrappy goal, and the last 10 minutes were quite tough, and you know we had to dig out the result. But in the end, we got there and showed a lot of resilience in the second half to get the 3 points.
You talked about you were just glad to get the season underway. It has been a very long pre-season training for you, a big build-up. You've had the FA Cup rounds in that as well, but you've also seen your squad and your team changed dramatically from what it was last year, and nice to see that 2 of the new signings, or loan signings, were on the score sheet.
Yeah, we've made a lot of new signings and everyone's settled in really well. You know, we've had a long time together. We're now training every day. You know, we're training full time, so we have a lot of time together. So you know, it's been good for the girls to settle in, and everyone did amazing last night. And you know, all the players through the whole squad have done it really well. And the lone girls, obviously, like you said, scored the goals last night, but everyone we brought in has put a really good shift in through the whole pre-season and started the season really well. So, you know, it'll take everyone involved in the squad will need to play their part, and it has been a big change from last season, but, you know, it's looking really good so far. And I think last night's performance wasn't amazing. You know, we weren't firing all cylinders just yet, but it was the first game, and because it is such a new squad, it will take us all time to settle in. But, you know, we'll be looking to push on from last night's result and find our feet. Got another big game on Saturday, which hopefully another 3 points will set us on our way. So, and then we can build on from that.
You talked about Saturday, so talk us through. You've got 2 games in your opening week, a bit like buses, and then you've got a rest.
I know, yeah. I'm not quite sure what was going on with the scheduling, but for us as players, it's great to have a game so soon. To be honest, you know, after playing last night, we just want to play again. So to have another game in a few days' time is great. It's obviously really good for the fans. You know, those that came last night, we had an amazing crowd. They're really loud, really vocal. So for them to be able to come back on Saturday, hopefully, and cheer us on again is excellent. But then it's a shame not having a game for a few weeks. But you know, that's just the way the fixture scheduling is. So you know, it's a big game for us on Saturday against a newly promoted team. It'll be a really tough test for us. If we can put another performance, especially like we did in the first half of last night's game, and get another win, then you know, it'll be good for us, good for the fans that come and watch us, and good for the whole club.
Okay. All right. Well, very best of luck for Saturday, and we'll look forward to cheering you on throughout the whole season.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, while City women have 2 games in the week, their male counterparts are enjoying a rare weekend off during the international break. It comes off the back of that fantastic 6-0 thrashing against Bolton at Ashton Gate last Saturday. Skipper Aaron Wilbraham got City up and running with a close-range finish after just 3 minutes, and Lee Tomlin doubled the advantage, slotting home across the keeper soon after. Lee Johnson's side ran riot after half-time, with Peter Odemwingie scoring from the edge of the box for 3-0. Scott Wagstaff made it 4, converting Jonathan Codger's cross before the Frenchman got in on the act himself. Codger headed in the 5th from Adam Matthews' centre and even got the final touch on the 6th goal, which was originally credited to Joe Bryan before being corrected by the Football League. After the game, Bristol Sport TV caught up with the Stoke City loan signing Odemwingie, who couldn't hide his delight at a dream home debut.
I scored, the team played fantastic football. So many, scorers, happy players, clean sheet. The manager has nothing to say after the game. That's a good sign. But of course, you can't relax. What's important actually is playing like this against the tough oppositions, and that's more fun when you can do well against the whole cities, the derbies that are coming here. We looked at other results. A few teams got results as well, so we can't relax. We will still train well, get our days off, recover, and then start again and prepare for the next game.
Well, to basketball now, and it was a mixed week for the Flyers as they boosted their playoff hopes with a win over Cheshire on Friday, followed by their first ever defeat to their southwest rivals, the Plymouth Raiders. Cardell McFarland and Tyrone Lee combined for 48 points on Friday night as the Flyers claimed the all-important season series over Cheshire Phoenix. McFarland finished with a double-double of 23 points and 10 assists to earn himself a place in BBL's Team of the Week. But it was a different story at the Plymouth Pavilions on Sunday afternoon, as a 17-4 run in the third period proved to be the difference in the Flyers' 18th defeat of the season. Corey Dixon led the way for Plymouth with a game-high 24 points as 5 Raiders finished in double-digit scoring. The Flyers, meanwhile, were led by Tyrone Lee's 18 points as their playoff hopes took a hit in another twist in the race for a top 8 finish. The team face another doubleheader this weekend when they travel to Sheffield on Good Friday before facing the Leicester Riders at the new LCS Arena on Saturday night. Well, Bristol Rugby are heading north as well this weekend as they travel to take on the Doncaster Knights on Sunday at the earlier kick-off time of 1:45. Fresh from their training camp, the new Forwards Coach Mark Bakewell said the boys can't wait to get back on the pitch.
The boys were fantastic at Portugal. They trained very hard and their load was up and they were very sprightly the whole time. They were really good, really energetic. So there wasn't a negative that came out of the camp. I was really impressed with them. So I think that was a really good boost into these last 4 games and leading into the finals. And I thought, it was well handled and well run and they did very well. We came out of it with basically no injuries and they trained. The workload was basically double what they're used to. So that was a very beneficial few days.
Well, if you're unable to make the long journey north, you could make the short journey here to Ashton Gate on Sunday as we will be screening that game live here in the Sports Bar. Kick-off at 1:45. Well, this week saw the return of the Big Sports Breakfast and our guest speaker was the F1 expert Mark Gallagher. He gave a fascinating insight into the motor racing industry and how to run a successful business. And it all begins with the people around you.
So if you take all the top teams in Formula One, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Williams, etc., they all have great technology. They all have amazing facilities, great factories. So what is it that actually defines the winner? It's not that they've got bigger technology than anyone else or more money. It's actually got to do with how the people have worked together to innovate, to develop these great products. So I'm a real believer that success comes from unleashing the potential of the people who work for you. And that means employing the right people. Of course, that's a really important point. Employing the right people, having the right skills, and then just getting to work together and having the right culture, So once you can get that flowing, it's amazing what you can achieve.
Mark Gallagher there, and the Big Sports Breakfast returns next month. April the 29th, we'll be welcoming Eddie the Eagle Edwards to the Ashton Gate Stadium. Now, many of you will be aware that we have announced that Bristol will have a new badminton team come October as they will take part in the National Badminton League. Televised on Sky Sports, the Bristol Jets will be new to the franchise. Earlier this week, we announced Bex Pantaney will be the head coach of the Jets.
To be honest, it's just, for me, it's a whole new world. Badminton, normally you're very isolated, you're very individual. Here it just seems like one big family. You've got obviously the rugby, the football, the basketball. To think that badminton can become part of that as well, and the support that we're going to have is certainly something new for us as the badminton players.
You mentioned the football and the rugby and the Flyers. They all have a local aspect in their squads. Is that something you hope to do with the Jets?
For sure. We're looking. My initial sort of look is to have Bristol-based, Avon-based players, if not Southwest-based. Obviously, we want to try and be competitive as well, so we're going to look further afield. But yeah, my core and the sort of the key players, I want to be local, so that people around here can relate to them. They can have somebody to come and watch, and also the youngsters can aspire. They can see there is actually a way forward for them.
Bex Pantaney there talking about inspiring the next generation of badminton players. Well, here at Ashton Gate Stadium on Tuesday night, we were inspiring the next generation of football players as we hosted the annual Bristol Sport Schools Cup.
Tonight tonight is the Bristol Sport Cup for football at Ashton Gate. It's a fantastic opportunity for girls and boys to come and play football on the hallowed turf of Ashton Gate. So, for us it's a fantastic opportunity to invite young people to get a chance to step foot on the turf and have some friendly competition, but in a nice and inclusive and friendly atmosphere.
Finally, to our weekly look of the stadium rebuild. And as season cards go on sale on Tuesday, March the 29th until April the 29th, many of you may be looking to buy a seat in the new West Stand. To help you decide, we've produced a helpful West Stand guide, which has images from each of the blocks available. We've also produced a how to buy video to also make it that little bit easier. And lastly, the eagle-eyed fans among you walking through the South Stand concourse will notice that the Ashton Gate clock has been restored. Originally installed in the Williams stand back in 1994, it remained in place until the stand was demolished last year. Now Sign Market and Ashton Electrical, who provided the original installation, have restored the clock to take pride of place in the South Stand concourse. Well, speaking of clocks, we are out of time. Hope you've enjoyed the programme. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a minute of the action. Have a happy Easter.